And we're back. Joining me in the studio is the reader and the narrator. And for those who just tuned in, this is the Justice Grimm radio broadcast, the show that thanks you for all your pain and suffering. Those who have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm actually passing the buck on this one to someone who is more or less well, that is to say by and large. I mean, let's just say he works for them. If you find yourself thinking this guy sounds familiar, it's because he tends to open and close each and every episode. The ones that he survives at any rate. Please welcome a colleague, the narrator.
Thanks, orator. Hey, can you tell me what the difference is between an orator and an announcer? Wait, don't answer that. I just remembered he died with the illustrator long story. Well, I guess I do have the obligation to give you some kind of description of things. But since this is a radio broadcast, I hope that my job won't require too much heavy lifting on my part. In other words, use your imagination. In order to keep up with the momentum, I'm passing the baton on to another, and while you're being filled in on what's going on around here, all right, so hey. Operator, are we good? Anyway, while I make a sandwich, please welcome Will.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Narrator. Hey, can y'all hear me? Because I can barely hear what? Okay, that's better. I don't hear my voice echoing back at me anymore, so that's good. All right, well, I need to do a quick recap for the reader. Thankfully, the reader is here with me in the Justice Star Radio Network studio. And as long as everyone can, hear each other, we can get down to business, because there's a lot of ground cover. So much ground that I might actually just have to let my own understudy and writer extraordinaire, the one and only, the real deal. The man, the legend, but don't tell him that the poor thing.
So, are we live? I mean, on air? Right, okay, yeah. My man Will is a match for any trained mobile task force agent the Punishment Court or the Ganesh Initiative in their heyday could manage to throw at him. But don't ask him to do public speaking events. The man won't freeze up, but come on, Will, a little delivery. You don't have to imagine the audience naked. That was just an illusion that Conrad cooked up for us in the Idris. That is the extra-dimensional relativity in space-time where Will and myself trained with Shadow Squad for, I don't even remember. Seems like it was a century, but Conrad tells me it was not anywhere under 100 years. So Conrad, you got this.
Hello, audience, and the reader, and the operator, and Will, and Tony, and the narrator. And wait, nobody's really doing anything or reviewing anything important information as far as the elements behind the silly story, are they? Fair enough. But I do owe it to the folks at home a glimpse at the true dread and might of Shadow Squad. If you are not aware, all the better if you are well, then you know, and I won't have to go into it. All conglomerate archives of fiction and fairy tales have a secret clandestine government that act as the balance or what passes for it. You know what? Will you fill them in, because I think you can explain is way better than I can. Thank you, comrade.
Is it my turn already? No, I just kidding. I've been chewing my nails in anticipation for this moment, because like my short pointy-eared friend was saying, the Justice Grimm is the balance of stories, or tries to be. Justice is never straightforward in the real fiction, and for all the victories, there are even more failures. And when the failures are too many, that's when we come in, the one and only Shadow Squad. Goodness. Just getting to say my secretive job designation name is spooky. And to make this day a day of risk even more well, I'm going to give the mic to my boss. We call her Commander Ma'am. She's also known as the legislator.
Oh, it's my turn, indeed. And I suppose thank you, comrade, even though I had no idea what you just said. Yes, our organization works on the turning of too many defeat into one sometimes massive victory. And it may be that some people would call that win over losses as assassination. I'm here to set the record straight. If you watch the movies, for every lie the animators throw, they do use the truth to shroud those fabrications. In other words, the villains tend to bring about their own destruction, one way or another. However, there are cases in which the monsters of the movie slip away and seem to evade paying any suffering as a result of those consequences. And I give you a perfect example of that right now, Mr. Director.
Cut. All right, that's not going to work here, but I'll get around to making it work eventually. Huh? Mr. Producer? I always do. Sometimes, yeah, don't go telling them about those handful of times I didn't. Honestly, the previous season was a brilliant genius ahead of its time. Groundbreaking, breathtaking, mind-blowing, eye-opening, tongue-twisting, hair-splitting, nail-biting, ear-burning, over-the-top blockbuster reinvention revolution in the artist storytelling. Yeah, Mr. Producer is reminding me that I couldn't have done it without the staff writers, who shall go unnamed. Oh, are we? Are we naming them all on air? Huh? Well, the first one's name is Ovid. Ovid?
Thank you, Mr. Director, and Mr. Producer. If the audience is wondering, in the justice system, the term Mr. is technically a rank. So you'll have to forgive the retcon. Can you believe I said that with a straight face? All the elements being brought to heel under the cold, commanding iron for an eye on art that goes beyond being unseen, namely the director and her brother, the producer who uses the power cosmic. And that power cosmic we used to make the vanishing point, and that whole story gets very unpleasant very quickly. So I'm turning over to my good friend Luz, who will fill us in on the lurid details.
I wouldn't say lurid, but at times it was borderline livid, and at times borderline risque, and well, that's not a whole lot similar to what animation storytellers are doing right now. Digressing. If you're looking for numbers, the previous season killed off 85% of the crew and continued chipping away at 15% of the cast until myself and OVD managed to negotiate a sort of ceasefire with the filmmakers. That should have in theory prevented more bloodshed, but that's not really the case. But I'm a writer and I better explain the action sequences. We're going to let Gia, our stunt coordinator, give us the rundown. Gia. Ouch, that hurt.
Don't ask me how I managed to punch you all the way over here on the other side of the glass window. Just don't. No, I said don't. That's better. We're all cool now, right? Chilled like a frozen ice pond. What were we just talking about? Oh, the stunts. I got this. In summary, the two battles with any consequential weight behind them occurred in a series of champion fights, and that was the illustrator's fault, of course. Both illustrator and the announcer died trying to take off in a one-seat helicopter. Then the set caught fire. Casting crew began to work themselves into a Dragon Ball Z-style power-up. There are survivors, and here to tell us all about it is the woman who had to pay to keep it all quiet. Chief?
If you even think about applauding, I'll superglue your hands to your ears. Oh, I'm just kidding. Geez, I didn't really mean it. Can someone go tell the little elf girl I wasn't being serious? Gosh, I feel a little bad now. Who would have thought an elf who has on record bathed in the blood of her enemies would really not like the idea of her ears being glued to her hands? So, moving on. So, the mythology season served its purpose, and that we were given, 8 solid cast members. And we made them various replacements of the crew after the set caught fire. Hey, comrade? I'm sorry Oh no, she's crying. Great. I'm sorry, sweetie. Ah, the little demon almost bit my hand off.